Thanks everyone for joining us today. I'm going to start the event. I want to introduce our first founder, Tony Castillo, is the founder of Whistler, and I'm one of the few people who said the name correctly for the record. It's a 301 redirect tool, and yep, I'll hand it over to you, Tony.
Thanks, Sarah. Let me just do one last check to make sure screens are being shared. Looks like it's good. So happy to be here, happy to be chatting with everyone who's live and even watching this later as a recording. As Sarah mentioned, the tool that the team and I have created is called Whistler. It is very much a helper tool for website migrations. And I have a background in e-commerce as an SEO strategist, and I have probably walked in the shoes that many of you are in right now if you're doing a site migration, which is, you have the site that's starting in a good way or bad way with some URL taxonomy, and a brand or a client wants to move it to something entirely different. And today I'm going to use this Benjamin Moore site as an example for how Whistler works. So here we have just a standard site, more informational than commerce, but if you were to crawl this with Screaming Frog or your preferred crawler, maybe it's Sitebulb, you would gather all these URLs. And then similarly, you have a reseller of Benjamin Moore paints called Colorize. And just for the purposes of our demo today, we're going to imagine that big Benjamin Moore is moving to the URL taxonomy and site of Colorize. And I'd like to start with where we will end. So you can see just the end of where Whistler hopes to take someone who's doing this task. So here's a spreadsheet, and what this is intended to convey are those URLs in that first column from Benjamin Moore, mapped to their best relevant URL on the Colorize domain, with a quality score, like a ranked matching score with every individual URL. And the data set that we have gathered for today includes 31,000 URLs from the Benjamin Moore site. And we are imagining that you're taking that larger data set and you're moving it to a smaller data set, which can sometimes happen. So the Colorize data set has around 4,000 URLs to it. And the one thing that I want to show next is our Whistler dashboard, and then we'll just let the algorithm run, and I'll tell you a few fun facts about Whistler while it's doing that. So once you log in, and you can create an account at whistler.com, which Sarah shared, she'll send out. You will see this very simple interface. Our intention is to be, just very niche and direct with what we're helping people with. And as a prerequisite, what we envision Whistler customers are doing is they're doing crawls of those sites. They're putting together all the URLs that they may be, that are your origin URLs, as well as those destination URLs. And if you're an SEO strategist or a developer doing this work, you've gathered all this information because it's essentially a data management task. And the hard part, the very time-consuming part, is just making sure that you get the best one-to-one match. So I'm going to upload the Benjamin Moore data set as our origin. And we're going to have our little mascots process those. So it's being ingested. It happened very quickly. Some of the files that I'm uploading are a few megabytes large. I'm going to call this demo with Sarah. And what we're imagining is, someone is doing the site migration task. They're almost at the end. Maybe it's a month before launch, ideally. Maybe it's 2 weeks, or maybe it's a day. Maybe you literally have 24 hours to get this task done, which has happened before to all of us. And it's stressful. It is frantic. And sometimes data is coming in and changing almost by the hour as clients upload new information to the staging site, but right before it's set to go live. So you'll see in that first row, Whistler's processing the data, taking those 31,000 URLs, trying to find the best one-to-one match to those 4,000 URLs. The Whistler algorithm and our servers can take very large data sets and process them in a very short amount of time. So this should wrap up in less than a minute. So we're doing all that data processing, all that algorithmic matching in about 60 seconds. And then you have a file that you can download and start to review for accuracy, just for integrity. And that was that file that we shared at the very beginning. So I'll pull that up one more time. And the idea is that now someone, who needs to make sure that you have a deployment ready file, has a list of things that they can just spot check. So
dairy is not inflammatory.
we can, I'm getting a little background noise, Sarah, but
Sandra, I think, okay, I'm muted. I'm sorry about this.
no, you're fine. I'm just making sure everyone could also hear. So here we have an example. We have the interior paint called Going to the Chapel, very long URL taxonomy, and I'll zoom in. This is from the Benjamin Moore site. And ideally, what we wanted to have happen, what we wanted to help you with, so it's not a manual task, is an algorithm can find the best match on the Colorize site. And so it has done that. This is how the Colorize URL structure is ordered. It has a SKU, a descriptive title, and the Benjamin Moore site has a bunch of other data in their URL string, but Whistler's still able to tease that out. Some other features of Whistler, just so that way we can give people the full review of what we can help with. Your template, so Whistler very much lets you ingest a CSV, and you can upload just URLs, or we offer other attributes that you can put in your data file that it will use for the accuracy of that mapping. So you have a field we call dimension, and anything can go in that field that's semantically relevant to the URL. Some of our customers put the page title, some of our customers put the H1 tag. It doesn't have to be super long or descriptive, just other information that you can add to your data set to help increase the quality of the match if that's helpful. And then we also let you upload SKUs, so coming from e-commerce. Sometimes you just have that available as information, so you can add another attribute to your file for SKU, and Whistler will make sure to match relevant SKUs from your from your origin data set to your destination data set. And if you're working on Shopify, you can also download the Whistler file as a Shopify ready bulk upload import file. So what I just showed you was Whistler with all the attributes. You can also just download something that you can take to Shopify. And the last thing I'll share is just pricing and a few offers that we want to make sure people have in their hands. So if you want to use Whistler, there are 2 pricing plans that we have. We very much understand that this is like an on or off task. It doesn't happen all year round. So if you're a consultant, you can choose our consultant plan, which is $49 a month. There's no recurring billing with our consultant plan. You can have up to 10,000 URLs per file, unlimited uploads, unlimited clients. You can process as much as you want within 30 days. And if you need to use it beyond that, you can just add another 30 days to it. Or if you're an agency, you can choose our agency plan. There are more URLs per file that we give an agency. And you can also add more users. So you get the Whistler dashboard, but you can have more people logging in, just interacting with the algorithm, pushing files through, getting what they need for their deployments. And I'm very good on time. So the last thing that I'll say, and we'll just let the other presenters maybe start early, Sarah. If anyone has an interest in using Whistler at any time this year, so this does not have an expiration, you can use the promo code free for me, and I'll make sure Sarah has it in the notes to share, but you can use the promo code free for me, and that will give you a free month of the consultant plan. And you can use that at any time.
Any questions, guys? Feel to jump in or type them in the chat. And I'm sorry, Tony, about the noise. It wasn't me, first of all. I muted people, but hope all is well.
No, it was easy to fix, not even a bother. And I'll stop sharing screen. Just say my thank you, and I'll be a very eager participant for everyone else's presentations next. So thanks, Sarah.
Thank you so much. So Ahmed is asking, can you tell us more about matching algorithms, how it works?
Yeah, happy to. So Ahmed, it's not an LLM, so we do not use any kind of GPT style processing with your data. It does not go to any external server. It uses entirely semantic matching techniques. So there are language libraries that are pre-built. We started with some Python libraries. It does not use fuzzy matching. It actually uses a hybrid of 3 semantic matching libraries. One of the ones that's common out there is the cosine similarity matching technique. So that's part of our algorithm, but we also use others. And we kind of blend those together because what we understand is sometimes there is just like the smallest of differences between URLs when you migrate to a site, like you have literally 2 or 3 characters, or you have URLs that are vastly different, and you just need different techniques in order to make sure that whatever you put through Whistler is actually giving you high quality outputs. And we very much intend for people to use it that way. You can just give it a bucket of URLs and it can do the work really well. Or you can parse out your data sets into just like just information pages or just product pages, and you will get a very higher output. Both are still accurate, but like with all data management, it all depends on what you put in versus what you get out. So
awesome, Tony. Thanks a lot.
thanks, Ahmed. Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
Okay, our next founder, Matthias, who's the main reason all of this. Hi, Matthias. So Matthias is the maker. Nice meeting you. Yeah, Matthias is the maker of rankscale.ai, a platform for analyzing, monitoring, and optimizing presence in AI search engines. I'll leave you to it. Yep, let's get started.
Yeah. Hi all. Thank you for having me, and thank you for organizing this, Sarah. I'm Matthias. I'm the founder of Rankscale, which is a platform which serves 2 basic core functionalities. The one is to analyze websites or the website content for AI search readiness, so to say. So for all these, current things we know for the black box SEO and how to improve content on websites, meaning for long-term keywords, for FAQs, for testimonials, all that stuff. And the other core part is the testing and monitoring and analyzing of your visibility of a brand over time, so performance tracking in all the various common AI engines. And what you see here is the current landing page. Maybe you've already seen it. So for the visibility or ranking analysis, it's already, here's a little free tool, so to say, to let you test the waters a bit, like what Rankscale can do on the audit side. But the real value is in there actually. And I'll quickly jump in here. I will give you kind of a speed run on how to set up a brand and how to analyze it over various AI engines, and also show you a bit of what it is capable of if we have a couple of runs, and which metrics and what we can see in the dashboards. So here already you see that Rankscale uses a credit system in order to execute search terms, or you can name it search queries, or however you want to name it. Some even call it keywords, to execute them to various AI engines in the cloud in an automated and interval-based way. That means I'm working with credits here. Some other tools don't, but I like to have the cost as transparent as possible. So various AI engines take up various amounts of credits, and currently we support all models from Perplexity OpenAI GPT-4o with and without web search, the Gemini models with web grounding, AI overview from any part in the world, also from the newer added countries in Europe. So this is pretty new since yesterday. We are capable of doing that, so we can compare different regions, and as well as DeepSeek and Mistral and Cloud and XAI Grok. They are currently not developed since low priority. No users have been asking yet for that, so that's the real reason. But it takes a couple of days, and they are implemented as well. So what you see here are the recent analysis I did and my brands. So RankScale is also oriented towards agencies handling multiple brands, multiple clients, multiple customers. And to do a speed run, normally I recommend doing an analysis first, a website analysis. So let's quickly analyze an example website of a client and check out what comes back. So in the background, it completely scrapes the content. It evaluates and audits the whole content against the rule set and the specific training data I set up for it. And it brings back a scorecard with a summary and various subscores, so you can have an idea and inspiration, a guide, so to say, what to improve on a website or on a specific URL. And this was actually the first thing I came up with. This was the first idea I had last summer when I was evaluating how to rank with my website on Perplexity. So this was where it all started. I'm not a classic SEO person, coming from a completely different background. And yeah, now it took off. Like somehow I catch the wave. And since this week, by the way, I'm full-time into RankScale, building up the team, scaling the company, applying for public grants. So full throttle here. And what we get out of this analysis is, as said, an individual summary of what the AI found, and 4 different scorecards regarding content quality, authority, engagement, and technical SEO. I will not get into too much detail as it takes a couple of minutes to talk about that, let alone. But you find key findings, recommendations for specific parts as well. And it gives you like an overview on how this URL you just crawled is perceived by LLMs. And we can also, with an optional crawl, also go 10 pages deep. So it goes also very comprehensively if you want to do that. It also gives you back content improvement specifically. So you get like a couple of paragraphs picked out. It gives you back an improved paragraph and also tells you like why this would make sense to be improved. And all in all, to give you some guidance. Out of this analysis, we can then create the brand. But this is not obligatory. You can also manually do that. But by doing it out of the analysis, we get all the context from the scraped website also into our database. And we are able to find topics and search term queries pretty fast based on the content of your client or your website or your SaaS company. So we add it to the brands pretty quick. We jump here into the brand so we can see it's here now on the site. We don't see any data yet because we have not run any automated tests. We will do this now. So I would say we will find some topics based on the analysis we just did. It's also AI based, so it recommends a couple of topics. So, for example, if you have a new client and you don't know which topic to choose to track, we can use it here. And topics are basically like baskets where we put in all the search term queries that are interesting for a specific topic. Could be a topic region, could be a specific part of the product. It could be anything, because with it, we can then later on filter and aggregate the data into meaningful results. So now here we choose website builder, we choose invitations, and what else can we choose? Guest list, RSVP management, and we create those as the first step. As a second step, we will create the search terms. Again, we can let AI find them. We can add them manually one by one, or we can even bulk add them. I will bulk add them to save some time. So here's like an overview window where we can just throw the search terms in, select the engines, select the interval tracking, and do this. What we also can do is we can paste the terms directly, for example, as a comma separated or as a new line separated list. And we can add those terms, specify our topics we just did, for example, the guest list for the RSVP, website for the website, and invitations for the invitations. We will choose now Sonar Pro. We will choose GPT-4o with web search all the times, AI overviews, Gemini 2.0, and DeepSeek. If we want, we choose as a region, we for now take just United States, and then we'll let them save. So they will now be saved as a single search term per each AI engine. So we can track each search term for each AI engine specifically, and later on also with the filtering in an overall view. So it's now adding all the search terms in the background, and now we see them. We can actually cluster them by topic or by AI engine, for example. Let's do it by topic. And as soon as we activate them, so either we click it here, set it to active, or we just mark all of them and activate the selected ones, they will get picked up by the next cloud run and will be executed in bulk. Like you can do this with hundreds, thousands of search terms. And we can see immediately also that the next run will be at 18:30 my time. And we can wait, or if you're impatient like me, we can just select all and hit run. So they will be fired off immediately. And we can see results coming in like in a couple of seconds already. So it's now going to all those AI engines, also to AI overviews and getting results back. And we see here that first results are coming in by the increment of the runs number. And as soon as the run here is, for example, down here we have it, is blue, we know that we have been found, our brand has been found, and we get a visibility score already to already see, okay, how visible is our brand in there. And we can directly, like, for example, click that and get a first preview of specific metrics of all the runs. In this case, it's only one run. We get the visibility score. It's a combination of detection itself and the rank where we came out. We see the average position, latest position, a sentiment score, which is basically the tonality, how the AI was speaking about us. The more positive, the better. We see how often we got mentioned, how many citations were pointing to our brand specifically, what was the detection rate in the top 3 visibility. And we can also like go even more into that specific search term, check out how was the performance over time. So in this case, we only have one timestamp, so we don't see any chart here, like meaningful chart. We see all the brands it came back. It identified specific brands. We see also their metrics, specifically how they turned out in the results. We see our brand. We can directly compare it to the other ones. We see the citations that came back that are automatically mapped to the brands. And we also see like how often have these brands been mentioned for the specific URL. So the more often we do this, the easier we get like a clear picture which citation is higher weighted than others. We see if it's earned, if it's owned, we see how often it came up. And we even can see like the execution itself. So that means we get a list of executions and we can check out like the result that came back from the AI engine. It automatically marks all the brands it found. It automatically marks our brand when it found it, gives us once again back the citations for the single run, and also gives us like an
questions.
overview. Yes.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Would you like to take them now or keep them till the end?
As we can take them now. Keep them fresh.
Okay, so Talha's asking, does the tool show cannibalization issues? And Ahmed Mahdi is asking, can we filter by date?
Filter by date, you mean okay, you mean to get a specific time snapshot maybe out of the results, I guess. Yes, we can do
exactly,
this.
Yes.
We can do this later on in the overview. I will show you. As soon I will jump to another brand where we see like a couple of runs already, so we can get a better feeling. And the cannibalization issues, I don't get that question quite. What that means. Maybe we could explain that.
Talha, would you like to unmute yourself and does it show cannibalization issues? That's the question. And we have another question from Ben. How do you get the search terms? Are those terms that have been searched for on the AI platform already, or terms that the AI thinks people will use by reading the website?
The latter, but that's not just for now. This will be improved because I'm working with a keyword tracker company in a collaboration, and I will receive then also keywords with the volumes variables, so to say, and I will enrich the data with people also ask from various sources. So this will be improved. Currently, it's just an AI trying to mimic a human. I will just go on because the cannibalization, I can't get my head around what this is exactly, but I would be happy to connect afterwards to answer this. Let's go on. So this was a single search term. So we get this for every search term we have now run. But the cool thing starts as soon as we get a couple of runs. I mean, we also already can do this now based on the results, but I will jump now into the other joy, to the second one, where we can quickly see how it looks if we get a couple of runs. So here I did an hourly interval for various topics for various engines. We can see, based on the aggregated data from all these executions, the visibility score on average. We can see the performance over time. We can compare it to other competitors, and we can see topic performance specifically. So in this case, I even did some regions, so we can compare like the different regions for the very same search terms. So we see that they are completely different between Canada, US, and UK, for example, for the same search terms. We can see the AI engine performance overall. And what we can also do is we can completely drill down. We can see, okay, we take only AI overviews for the topic of invitations and save the dates, and we see our performance right there. We see where we're coming out. We also see even, once again, topic and AI engines, but we can see specifically all the metrics I showed you before. And what is the beauty of it? If we, for example, go then back to the citations, here's a citation analysis as well. We can evaluate, we can analyze all the citations that came back, all the backlinks that came back, and really identify like the highest amount of weightings in the AI engines, and think about talking to or having a collaboration with a magazine or with a blog article page or anything else that really gets ranked pretty easily on AI engines. We can identify them here perfectly. So we can say, for example, only for AI overviews, what was the most influential source actually in there? And it now queries all the citations. We see that the not actually was the one. So we also see in there which brands were mentioned by this citation. We see which search terms brought it up, and we see also which executions brought it up. And we can even go in there and check out once again the raw result. So what we also can do in the same way is having a full competitor analysis, drill down into specific AI engines, specific topics, compare our metrics to theirs. And I think this was a pretty fast speed run. There are a couple of features also, like we can do multi-user workspaces. You can work with your peers. You can export all this data into CSV and Google Sheets, in the future also into Google Looker and into BigQuery. And there's a lot more coming up. I'm iterating with around 400 people currently on the early access. You can request early access directly on the website. Shoot it to me. It's closed beta, but I will happily approve it. You can test it for free. And you can already also buy in-app credit packs for those who really use it, like many do already in a productive setting. As an agency or as a consultant, you can buy credit packs as well. So I hope I was in time. Check that out.
1 more minute, yeah.
Yes, when you sign up, actually, this is interesting. Please go to the Get Started section. Here, find a video tutorial, full walkthrough through the whole app. You will find the Slack community where you can join in, where I put in development updates, where you can shoot me feedback, shoot me feature requests, bug reports, or similar. But we can also do this right in the app. So we just click the feedback button here, select the priority and feedback type, write me some text, capture a screenshot, and send me your feedback if you like.
You shared the pricing in the chat because Kimberly's asking about it. If you have a link.
Of course. Sorry, I wanted to click that, I didn't. Currently, it's early access-based credit packs, but the same pricing will apply for a monthly subscription after going live. Going live will happen pretty soon. And for the early access users, I put 20% of the credits on top, and it's a one-time payment. It will never expire even after the launch. So if you're curious and you want to try it out, and you even want to try it out more and can really use it and have value, you can buy this, and you don't have to be afraid that these credits will ever expire. So they will always add on top.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Matthias. If you want to share your LinkedIn URL in the chat so people can reach out afterwards, or any contact details. Ben has a question. You feel free to interact with people in the chat. Okay, so our next founder is Luke. Luke is a full stack web developer with 6+ years in the game, and has plenty of websites and web apps. And today he's going to walk us through his tool, Rapid 301. And as we are all SEOs, we have a very special relationship with developers. So let's show him some.
Yeah.
They're nice. SEOs are nice.
They are, yeah. Thanks for the introduction, and yeah, awesome tool, Matthias, and also awesome tool, Tony. Tony's already kind of covered the high level of 301s. Tony and I have connected quite a few times because we're building very similar solutions, slightly different, and yeah, we've been working together to try and figure out how to get 301 redirect tools to the masses. So I first came into 301s. I'll share my screen. When I had to do a migration for a client website. So I was the developer, and the SEO company basically gave me a list of tools, a list of URLs, and said, now go manually map the old URL to the new URL. So that took me like 5 hours to do, like 350 odd so pages or so. And I initially approached it from like a scanning sites perspective, where you would have, say, like your current site like this, and internet slow, and you would just here the site, and then I'd hit acknowledge, and it would go ahead and automatically do the mapping. And similarly to Tony, the mapping algorithm has a few different strategies, one being cosine similarity, one of them being fuzzy matching, and it also has some kind of complex workflows in identifying different kind of URL structures, and then filtering, basically putting each URL through a different workflow. So this has just done a scrape of the site, and it's got the site maps, and then hit all of the pages to get the URLs. And you can see that it has done 5 high confidence matches. My friend did not rebuild any blogs on the staging site, so it redirects to the index page and notifies you of the of that with this color, as you can see here. 8 have been redirected to the parent. There's a little bit of a guide here as to what these numbers mean. And the cool thing about Rapid, I find, is that if you wanted to override these, you could just click on the staging URL and then type to see if you had a better match. So for this one, Beyond Clay Renders, there isn't. None of these are up, but maybe you wanted to override that. Instead of parallax CGI techniques, instead of going to the blog, maybe you just wanted to see if you had any other CGI pages that you could redirect that to, like this. So you can go ahead and you can kind of tick them off. You get this nice little progress counter down the bottom. And then let's just say that we'd finished that. We could download it as a CSV file. And it just is formatted in a way where you can upload to Webflow directly, or any other platforms that just take in a CSV. So you've got the old URL and the new URL. And similarly, you have the ability to export to htaccess. So that looks a little bit different. And we've got the higher URLs. Let me know if I'm going too quick too. I've been talking a lot to people this quite high energy at the moment. So with the redirects in the htaccess, the redirects with the deeper path segments are going at the top in order to prevent it essentially having like a circuit breaker and just shortcutting to the route. So if you have, for example, like work at the top, then it will just redirect to work and kind of circuit break there. So that was kind of the web developer workflow. And then I was speaking with an SEO agency, and they had Screaming Frog sitemaps and needed a way to upload those. And so the second tool, which uses the same matching algorithm, is upload sitemaps. So this can be from any kind of sitemap. It can be an XML file, it can be a text file, it can be a Screaming Frog output with all the rest of the information in it, and it will essentially identify all of the URLs that are similar to the correct URL or the URL of the domain that we want to redirect to, and it will deduplicate them and make sure that there's only one version, so you don't end up with multiple redirects from the same. I will just refresh the page here. And I will run this. There's another little setting here, which would be to check the staging site for 404s. Some of the customers that we've had have not filtered down by, I would say, status codes when crawling from Screaming Frog, and I noticed that some of them were accidentally redirecting broken links on the old site to 404s on the new site. So this check there would just be a sanity check to ping all of the sites all of the URLs in the staging site and make sure that they return 200s. If they don't return 200s or they return a 404, essentially it will just filter them out and not include them in the as part of the matching algorithm. So if I just hit generate redirects for this, going to go ahead. It sometimes takes a second for the server logs to catch up. And there we go. Just did 782 pages plus. It may have deduplicated. If you see a different number, it's because it's deduplicated some URLs. But similarly to Tony's tool, you can see that it's picked up the correct URLs here for these more complicated structures. Sorry, someone got a question or?
No, it's just some noise. I muted. No worries.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, then if you're to identify the lower confidence pages that maybe you'd want to override, you can have a look at them here. These ones just kind of random strings, so they all get redirected to the index. There might be ones that you want to type to see, like that one, which was a bit of a more complex one that you could override. And then similarly, you can just download the CSV file or the htaccess files there for these. So yeah, it works in it essentially takes all of the old URLs and puts them through this workflow with a few different, I would say, matching processes and stage processes, and then finds the best URL on the staging site. It obviously isn't 100% perfect for these kind of more complex things or things that don't have matches. And then it has default ways in which it handles them, either redirecting index or parent. If you do notice an odd one, like this, it's redirected a lot to commercial property because it's picked this up. You can just override it with this handy drop down, which has all the staging URLs in here. And once you've done that, you can then run a test, which would check all the URLs here, and it will just ping all of the old URLs and make sure that they actually resolve with 301s. So you can kind of get a bit of testing in there. Obviously, it's still good to check with Google Search Console to make sure that that is all A-OK. And it might take a little bit of time. So are there any questions as to how this kind of part of the tool works?
We still have like 5 minutes to go. Just we're on time. Yeah.
Cool. I'm speaking a bit quickly, I think. And then another kind of, as Tony said, this is only one specific part of the process when it comes to doing a site migration. And so for me, the other big factor coming from a web dev background was like, how do I know what the current site structure is? And how do I know how big of a migration this is going to be? And for that, I built this website migration analyzer. So if I just put in the site, my friend's site again, this will crawl the site and it will give you the number of pages. It will give you the number of languages. It will give you some information about how many collections there are. So just at a glance, you can see, is this going to be a complex site or is it going to be a simple one? So this site is relatively simple. It's got 6 blogs on it, 5 paths under lab and 7 under work. And you can see the URLs here. And then for a more complicated site, here's one on a migration that we we did. This one had 9 locales and 3,977 total pages. And this was a web developer that got thrown in the deep end with this migration, and this tool was very handy for him in after the fact when he found out about it. He's like, I wish I knew this before getting into that migration, because you can see in each of the locales how many paths there are. You can see what collections they have, and then also here you can have a look at exactly what those pages look like. So like this. And yeah, I think that about covers it. So my workflow is, if I get a new website project or a migration project, I essentially just run it through this website migration analyzer. I understand how big the site is, how complex it's going to be, and then I factor that into my quote and figure out, like, essentially as a line item on top of the strategy, design and development, then there's the migration cost. And then once I've rebuilt the entire site and just about to launch, I would run it through the site scan to 301 redirects and put the live domain on here and then my staging webflow domain in here. And then it would crawl both of them and do the mapping. And then I would export that and upload it, and it really streamlines the process. So what did take me, I think, 5 hours initially now takes under 5 minutes to do. And it's being used by a few SEO agencies and web developers. And it's kind of funny to see the different requests that they have when it comes to features and how they use the tool. One other interesting thing that I had someone use it for actually was using the sitemap CSV as a trimming tool. So he'd had all of the URLs on the current site that he wanted to redirect to, and then he built a bunch of pages on the current site and had to push them live. And he essentially used the tool in, I don't know if reverse way is the correct way to say it, but all of the links on the staging sitemap or the working links were broken until he made the swap. So he trimmed a bunch of the links and then identified which URLs, the new URLs that he wanted to be from those trim links, and redirected to them using this tool as well. So I hope that explains it. I've been at Brighton SEO, so I've been speaking to people for probably close to 16 hours the past 2 days. So I hope I'm coherent. And yeah, I hope that answers some questions. And thanks. Was there any? Thanks for the comments, Matthias and Ahmed. Yeah. And then
the UX and the UI a lot.
Yeah. So we come from a UX, UI, and web development background, and we built a tool that maybe I should talk about pricing. We wanted to essentially get people to the point where they've got all of the redirects before even paying. So it was very important to us that you get to experience the tool before handing over any details. And and I think
it's
all of my
pretty
UX
thing I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of was this, I mean, a bit off topic, but generally speaking, things wanted to capture details first. That was the kind of go-to UX. And we kind of flipped it on its head and said, how can we give as much value away before asking for any information? And I'm logged in. If you aren't logged in, you essentially get a preview of the top 50 pages, and then you have to create an account to see the additional pages. And then you can do all the redirects. You can get the results that you want before you'd have to pay. So the paywall is on the, if I refresh this page.
I shared the links in the chat for people to like directly go to the pricing page and that sort of thing. That would be great.
Okay. Sure. So
thank you so much, Luke. This is really informative. We're out of time. So if anyone have questions, feel free to ask them in the chat or reach out to Luke. Luke is also at Brighton, so you can ask him anything about as well. Yep, that's that. Okay.
Thank you. And
Yep, go ahead.
And I'll drop my LinkedIn in the chat as well if you'd like to connect.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Thanks, Luke. Our next speaker is Ahmed. So Ahmed is the first person I learned SEO from. As I said before we started, I'm way older. He's way younger than I am, but I learned a lot from him. He's his own person, like he's really brilliant. So his tool is ClickRank. I'm super happy to have this chance to introduce you, Ahmed. The floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Sarah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having me, and thank you all for attending today. I will try to be direct as much as possible and be focusing only on the tool and what it does. So first of all, my name is Ahmed Ezat. I am the co-founder of Katib, which is an AI writer software, and also the co-founder of clickrank.ai, which is basically a data-driven SEO automation tool where we help SEOs and marketers and agencies automate their websites on page SEO with one click. And it's pretty easy and it's pretty data driven. It's not like other generic one size fits all approaches and tools that try to give you some generic suggestions and optimizations based on generic tactics and keyword research. Once you sign up, you will be able to connect to your website. You'll have to add our JavaScript code to your website header, so all optimizations could be applied instantly without having to do anything manually or applying anything yourself. It works with any CMS. So basically, if you are using WordPress, Shopify, Weebly, Wix, whatever, it will work pretty smooth. And what we do actually is that when you connect your website, we will ask you to connect your Google Search Console. And it's a very important step. So we can start to pull data from your Google Search Console. In the meantime, or at the same time, we start to crawl your website to get your pages and try to understand we analyze your content, we analyze your the title and the description, your internal links, you are going inside your website, and we start to give you some recommendations, and we try to also give you the issues, SEO issues that could hurt your website SEO. I will give you the ability to fix them directly from the dashboard. So basically, this is a demo website. This is ClickRank, our main website. And as you can see, we have been live for website. As you can see, our organic traffic is going very well. We have witnessed around 68% increase in impressions over the past 30 days, and 22 or 23% increase in clicks over the past 50 days. Just by using ClickRank itself, we didn't start off-page campaign yet. We didn't start link building our page at all. So basically, it works, and we have a lot of case studies for other users who have been using ClickRank over the past 3 months, and they started to see huge increase in their impressions and clicks. Our approach is pretty simple. Once you connect your website and you find the issues, you can click on Fix SEO Issues button right here, or you can start browsing your SEO recommendations, where we, for example, try to analyze your pages and see if there is a keyword that has the highest impression, the highest number of impressions, and it's not existed in your title tag or in your link description. We try to tell you that, and we give you the ability to apply the recommendation by giving you the original link description and the suggested one. And with one click on apply, it will be applied directly inside your website. It will be rendered on the front end, on the browser view for the user and for bots for sure, Google bots and other search engine bots. When you click on Fix SEO Issues, you will get to our site audit, where you will find issues like missing canonical tags. And this is very important, as some CMSs you won't be able to fix this if you are not using WordPress or Shopify. Some CMSs that don't have SEO plugins or extensions fix such issues like missing canonicals or duplicate H1 tags and so on. You can just with one click fix this issue. We will add the canonical tag to your header. Also, the duplicate H1 tags. These pages have more than one H1 tag. We fix this by changing the hierarchy of your H tags automatically. So you only have one H tag, which is pretty considered as a best SEO, as a best practice for SEO, because you might confuse search engines if you have multiple H1 tags, and so on. That's for audit. Then we come for the most important feature. Here you connect, when you connect your Google Search Console, you start to pull data, and we show you your queries, pages, countries, devices, dates, and so on. We also pull data for Google Images, so you can check your images rankings and traffic that what it brings to your website. As you can see here, you can see your pages, number of impressions, number of clicks, CTR. You can also see the change percentage, whether it's a negative or positive. As you can see, most of our pages are in green color, thanks to ClickRank. As you can see, you can only click on post about exact match domains. And in seconds, we will get its queries.
Think off a bit, Ahmed.
As you can see, this keyword, for example, gets us around 120 impressions once, and it's can you hear me?
Yes, now I can, yeah.
Okay. Let me repeat this again. I was saying that here are the queries of this page. As you can see, this keyword, for example, is getting us around 120 impressions per month, and its position, its average position is number 10. If we clicked on this button, it's going to run a keyword analysis. We have the page HTML, so we start to analyze this keyword existence inside the page. As you can see, this keyword score is 0. It's not existed in title or in description or in content or neither in headers. So basically, this is not optimized at all. With one click on optimize, we can start to go to our optimized page, which is the main feature set that we offer inside ClickRank, where we can optimize your title tags, description, images, alt text, schema, even in terms of queries, as you can see. And with one click on auto-optimize page title, for example, we start to suggest new titles based on these queries that you have selected, as you can see. And with one click and apply, it will be applied directly inside your website. Whatever CMS you are using, you can do so also for the description. One feature that actually we see people are using a lot, and it gives them pretty good results, what we call optimization strategy, which is basically a way to filter your queries based on some criteria, like trend seeker, for example. It gives you the keywords that are started to emerge recently, people are starting looking for. So basically, if your website is talking about dates or latest events, latest news or something like that, you will love using trend seeker optimization strategy, as it will give you the new emerging keywords in your page, 500 keywords for each page. You wouldn't be able to get that inside Google Search Console unless you run a lot of filters. So using API, you can pull up to 2,500 keywords. Also, we images. So basically, we understand images by using vision descriptive, SEO optimized description for this image that could be applied as an image alt text and also as a title tag for this image. So basically, you start to optimize your images too. And here we are talking about homepage optimization at its best. One element at a time. We also have a schema markup generation, we analyze your page content, and we understand what it's about, and we suggest the most relevant schema markup that should be installed with this page. And also with one click, you can apply it. Last but not least, we are talking about what we call smart internal links, and it's basically your way to generate internal links automatically. And these internal links are different than other tools are offering. We don't just replace a certain keyword or term inside your page content with and add a hyperlink to it. We try to inject your content with a call to action, something like this one, and an anchor text that links to this page. We analyze your website pages and try to find any relevant page that could link to this page by adding content to it with one click. Just click on apply and it's applied. We also do that for headings. We extract your headings, H2, H3 tags. We can rewrite them. Apply
And you have a question.
headings automatically. Last but not least. Yeah, sure. I'm just finishing. I'm wrapping up right now.
I just wanted to make sure you heard me because got it.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Maybe I have lag in my internet. So yeah, finally, here is the content. Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Finally, we split your content into different multiple paragraphs, and you can refine any of your paragraphs by trying to include any relevant SEO keywords or queries from your Google Search Console, and you can replace it directly inside your website without even having to edit anything manually. And you can add your own queries to this button, and that's it. Last thing, you can bulk optimize your pages, titles, descriptions, or meta or schema markups to our campaign picture, which runs over your whole website at once. So that's it. I'll stop sharing to answer any question you might have.
Mahdi has a question. He says,
Yeah,
does
sure.
it save crawls for historical data check?
Yes, we save crawls and we offer you an activity log so you can see what happened over time and try to annotate that to your rankings. Luke, okay, thanks, Luke. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? I think. Yeah. Okay. Last thing I just want to share. If anyone is interested in trying clickrank, I'm giving out a special discount. It's 99 off. It gives you 99% discount over the first month. So basically, if you're interested, it's a no-brainer offer. Yeah. And that's it.
Shepard, and I'm gonna share your coupon in the recap email. Thank you so much for being part of
Sure.
this. Okay,
you.
our next founder is Matthew, Matt Millinger. Matthew is a co-founder of SEO Gets and founder of Local SEO Partners. His love for simple but impactful analytics have shaped how SEO Gets have been built. The floor is yours, Matt.
Awesome. Thanks. Yes, some cool tools already so far. Excited to share. Again, SEO Gets is a simple, very niche tool. Basically, a lot of SEOs know that Search Console data for first-party data, it's more accurate. And so we basically just took the Search Console platform and made it better in almost every way. So when you jump into our site, you can come here. It's completely free. That's the cool thing about our tool is that we have a free tier that is extremely impactful. So you can come in here and you'll sign in with your Search Console. When you sign in with your Search Console, you're going to jump into your master dashboard here with all of your sites. And so the cool thing with this is that one of the struggles with Search Console is that you have to open up all the different tabs and make sure that you can see all your sites. If you have hundreds we have some with thousands of sites in a Search Console account, you're able to view them all here. Once you jump in, there's two little things that are nice right away. If I have certain sites that are favorites, I can click this little favorite and bring it up to the top. So it allows me to kind of sort the sites on this master dashboard how I want. If there's duplicates of sites properties, you can also click here to hide sites, and that will pull them down into this kind of hidden folder. Again, basically, we're Search Console just better in every way. So Search Console has a lot of limitations. We have in this master dashboard the ability to group sites into portfolios or tags. And so if I come in here and I want to create a tag and say I have a set of clients or set of industry sites, I'm able to tag them together. And then when I filter them, I'm able to see a cumulative view of those portfolio sites. This is really helpful for seeing trends across industries or trends if you have a certain manager that's in charge of 10 sites, they're able to see the portfolio performance. And you're even able to break it down by per site right here. And so that's kind of the master dashboard. The other thing that's really cool is what we did is we removed the need for regex. And so say I want to see how all my blog pages are doing across all my sites. I'm able to come in here. I want to see contains blog. I'll apply. And now I can see, okay, here are my blogs across all of my sites in this master dashboard. You can see how that can be used in a lot of different ways. And that's the same thing with queries. We also allow you to set branded queries for each property. And so I can come here and I can see how are my branded queries doing. So obviously, Backlinko just gave us a big shout out. And so we've had a bunch of traffic from organic traffic from branded side for SEO gets. But you can see there when I don't have it set, it will say define the keyword. Let me go back here. So it says define branded keyword. So if I come in here and I type in Cookville Buzz, that is a contain statement. And now anytime I switch that toggle for branded keywords, it will now show me that I have no branded keywords on that and everything is coming from the non-branded term. There's a lot of other cool features on this top part, but again, all of this so far is free, completely free, no upsell. We do have a free tier or a paid tier that's $49 per month, but we want to build something that is actually helpful. So jumping into the individual the performance dashboard, what you can do is you can see again, it's just going to be a better UI and UX than Search Console. We provide a couple of tools for free. Again, these two tools, the branded versus non-branded clicks, when you set up that term, you can see here, I can see the spike easily was on the branded side. I can also see the trend in terms of percentage. This is good a lot for like PR, whether you're actually building the correct type of traffic. We also have the query counting over here. Again, pretty simple, where it's the number of queries, unique queries that have impressions. You can break it down by rankings. But one of the cool things with this is, so I can see right here, I got a spike in impressions for the site. And so my question is why? So I'm just going to click and drag this, which allows me to click that time selection. And I can see that we had a 69% growth in impressions. So my question is, as an analyst, why? Why did that happen? So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go to my queries and I'm going to see growing. There's a growing tab and I'm going to sort it by impressions. And I can see we did the same thing for the page level. So I see that my homepage had a 400% growth in impressions. So I can click this, and now what that just did is it allowed me to filter by that page. And so now I can see, okay, SEO analytics is a term. I'm going to turn on my rankings. So we improved our rankings for SEO data, SEO analytics, analytics for SEO, analytics for SEO. And now my question is, okay, we started to rank for all of these new terms, analytic SEOs. So there's a very clear path or a very clear growth there. So I'm going to go back to my 6 month and see, okay, so it happened here. Oh, wait, right here. I have an annotation that shows that I started my hero copy split test. So I changed my split test on my hero image. And now I can see that it's obviously having an impact. Now, at the end of the day, what matters is clicks. Impressions is just a leading indicator for what you should actually be looking for, clicks, and it hasn't had any clicks. But what it allows me to know is that I'm on the right track for that. So the annotations, if I go into annotations right here, I can see when I want to create a new annotation, say I made a change to my site, say we changed blog structure. What I can do is I can select the date that it happened. and I can come in here and I've already created a content group, and we'll talk about the content groups and the topic clusters here in a second. But I can go and I've already created it for my blog, and I'll say save. And what that will allow me to do is it will allow me to see the impact of those tests across my sites in Search Console. Again, here you can even open it up and see, okay, I started the split test here, what happened, and get to that same conclusion. I kind of jumped a little bit ahead of myself. When you jump into this portal on our paid tier, we have the ability to create topic clusters and content groups, which allows you to basically set presets for grouping content or pages and your URLs. So we can see that I have a content group for any term containing SEO analytics. Here are all the matching queries under that. And I can build these conditional statements. Contains this and doesn't contain this, or contains this and equals this, or you can do whatever you want. It's a lot of flexibility in here. And so you can build these topic clusters. These two things are probably our most used features and tools that people love. Just because when we're talking about analytics, and I'm going to go back through the last 3 months, I'll do a comparison period like this. And so I can see that I've been up 84% in clicks. And the issue is that I can see, normally I look at this chart and we're up 80, almost doubled our traffic. And I'm like screaming from the rooftops, this is great. Yes, like we doubled traffic. However, what I quickly can see is that most of our growth came from the tools content group. So we on our page have a section of free tools. The issue with this is that it does not drive a lot of conversions for our business right now. And so in reality, this isn't as big of an impact as I want it to be. Now, our features pages, which is normally middle funnel, bottom of funnel, is down 20% in clicks. So I can quickly look at this content group and say, okay, it looks like big picture. If I just look at Search Console, man, we're doing great. But really, we need to work on improving our features. So I go to features and I say, in this time period, what decayed? Okay, so how to extend GSC historical data and our annotations Google updates? Do I need to go and figure out what we lost or what we improved? And so this is just using the Search Console data that we're normally using. We're just equipping you with the tools to find opportunities for growth a lot faster and easier. On top of that, what we can do is in our report. Oh, yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry that I jump in. I have no idea how to do this way. Okay, so Sharon has a question. She's asking, can you create a group of URLs by providing a list in bulk?
Yes, great question. And yes, you can. So if I come in here, I'll create a new content group. I'm just going to take this list of URLs, but say you export a list of URLs. There is a matches any batch, and you just paste that right in. And now Search Console API has a 4,000 character limit. And so what you can do is you can remove the root domain from all of these, and it will still recognize the pages down here. And so that helps with the character count. We do have the reason that we can provide a free tier is because we're just at our core an API wrapper for Search Console that just removes a bunch of the limitations. But you will sometimes still run into API limitations. What we can do is we have the ability for you to integrate BigQuery down here, your own BigQuery for free. It's part of our paid tier, but it's not per site. We also offer this is the only add-on that we have is extended storage. And so we allow you to extend your storage past 16 months to 5 years. But that also removes a lot of limitations like character limits on the content groups. It's faster. Sometimes the API. The one thing you will notice is that our dashboard is going to be really fast and snappy compared to Search Console and a lot of these other tools. And so the larger the site, the slower, obviously, the more data it has to pull. And so if you want to go to the extended storage, it kind of speeds those things up. So I see I have about 3.5 minutes, but yes, so you can do that right in there. The other thing that you can do is we talked about annotations. We have these reports. So keyword cannibalization, you can come in here and it will show you the queries that you're ranking for and how many pages are all competing for that same term and their positions. And so like SEO content groups, I can see I have 2 pages here. One's ranking 2nd position, one's ranking 8th position. Do these need to be combined into one page? Does one need to be 301 to redirected? It's the normal cannibalization issues that you guys can make the educated decisions. We have our content decay heat map, which allows you to see past 12 months content that started to get clicks and has dropped off, it's oftentimes that you need to update that content to have it reboost. And then the last one is our striking distance keywords, which again allows you to find low-hanging fruit opportunities. So if I type in between rankings 5 and 20, here are a list of terms that I would start looking for on-page optimizations for. If you pull it down, it shows you the pages that are ranking for it, page counter, and then you can figure out if I want to search, I can just click Google here. It pulls up that query, and now I can look at the search intent and see, does my page here match the same intent that is ranking on Google? On top of that, one of the cool things that is also available is sharing links. So if I come here, and actually I'll do this like this. I'll come in here and I can create this magic share link. So if you have clients or if you want to embed this, so if you have agency analytics, it currently works with Looker a little bit, but because it's an external embed, it has a little warning sign. But in like agency analytics, you can embed this white labeled. And so it can be right into your reports that you use anywhere that you can embed. SPP uses it anywhere that you can embed, even if you don't create your own pages. For the agency sides, it's a really good, useful tool. But you can also just directly paste those URLs. So if I copy this, I can open incognito, paste this in, and anyone with this URL can access this. Say I give it to someone that I don't want them to have it, I can just remove it right here. We talked about the data source a little bit. By default, we don't store any data. We're very privacy first. We don't use any data anonymously for case studies or tests or to enrich our data. It is your data. We have the ability to upgrade to the extended storage, or you can bring your own BigQuery data as well. So basically, there's three pieces. We want to improve your analytics, we want to improve your decision making, and we want to improve your reporting. And so the last piece, reporting, is coming soon. We will have branded white label reporting that will allow you to just basically build your own reports similar to agency analytics. And we'll probably have integrations, API integrations in the future. And yeah, you can go down to our roadmap, our changelog. We have a very talented technical co-founder that is building rapidly, and we have a very active group of feedback users. And so we've built a lot of this stuff. Last thing I'll say real quick, because I got a couple seconds left, is we also have the ability so that you can see core updates on the time map. And so I can see my annotations and core updates by toggling this on and off. There's a lot of other flexibilities, trend lines, a lot of cool tools. I would, man, I can't speak. Encourage you to try it out. It's free. And then you'll get a 7-day upgrade free trial for the upgraded plan, and then just use the tool for free. We hope it's beneficial, and give us feedback on it. So all I got.
Thank you so much, Matt. If anyone has questions, feel free to engage with Matt in the chat. Feel free also, Matt, to drop your LinkedIn profile or whatever way you'd like people to connect with you.
Yep.
And our next speaker is Gonzalo Lorca. I'm not sure if did I say this correctly? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi.
So Gonzalo is a bootstrapped founder that has been researching LLMs for a year. His startup Zongo aims to help marketers measure LLMs with the highest level of accuracy possible. He's based in the US and Spain and previously worked in programmatic at Media Monks. Nice meeting you. The floor is yours.
Very nice meeting you, everybody. And thank you so much for organizing this, Sarah, and anybody else who had a role in making this happen. Thank you so much. And I'm actually launching my startup here today. So it's kind of an exciting day for me. Without further...
Good luck, Gonzalo. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
What is Zongo, right? I'm the founder of Zongo, and we, like Sarah said, we're focused on analytics for LLM outputs. So generally what we do is we help companies and brands understand their presence in AI search. And we are focused on basically getting people the best data we possibly can, right? And so what I'm going to show you today is our first feature. I'm going to share my screen now. Let's see. Can everybody see it? Right. I'm assuming yes.
Yes,
so
now
it's
yes.
quite great. So the feature is quite simple. So by the way, anybody can join, anybody can log in. All you need to do is give your email and buy some credits. So I'll get started. So it's very simple. It's a very simple form. And before I do that, I just want to talk quickly about how if right here is the support section, and you can just send me an email. So I encourage you to send me an email if you want help filling in the form, if you want to help analyzing the data, if you want just a personal walkthrough, you can let me know, and I encourage you to reach out. And also, if you have doubts, also I added a section here, which is a guide for how to use the form. So it's quite simple, right? With this form, what I can do is I can measure I can run a prompt through an LLM as many times as I want, and then get metrics out of it. So in this case, I'm going to get how often a brand is mentioned in the responses, right? So let's imagine that I like video games. So let's imagine that I'm working for Fortnite. A video game report Fortnite. Just have to give it a name. And I work for Fortnite, and I want to know how when people are looking for an alternative to actually, my bad. Let's say I work for Apex Legends, okay? And I want to know when people look for an alternative to Fortnite, do I appear? Because I'm the main alternative. I'm a game in the same category, and so I want to know if I appear. And so what I want to do is I want to ask a question that people would ask an AI if they were looking for an alternative. So we can start simply. Recommend me an alternative to Fortnite for PC, right? And I have to choose a sample size. So I can here what I'm doing is I'm asking the system just to repeat this question a large number of times so that I can get a statistic of how often my brand appears. So because AI and LLMs, they don't produce the same answer every single time because they're statistical engines. You need to basically collect a sample and use statistical methods, right? So like we don't want to measure just once. And I would say as a rule of thumb, if you care about the answer, and it is an important one, I would say start at 400. And you start at 400 and you can go up and get more specific. Or if you're just experimenting and you're trying to see what comes up, if you do 100 to 150, you'll get pretty good results also. You'll get, and the system, I'll show you in a moment, but the system will tell you how accurate the results are. So you know if you need to go back and measure more samples. So I can add as many prompts as I want. So say, for example, recommend me an alternative to Fortnite for PC. Sometimes I like to ask the same question a few times, but change it slightly, right? So I can say people tend to ask long questions to ChatGPT. So I'm looking for a game similar to Fortnite that I can play on my PC. Hopefully there's not a lot of spelling mistakes. So again, 400, right? Or I can change it. So I can, for example, I could get rid of PC and change it for Xbox and see how I appear in different sections of the, depending on my strategy, I can see how I compare in PC gaming to Xbox, to perhaps if I don't add anything, right? So I could do, for example, Xbox, and then I could repeat the question and not include any platform. And then what I can do actually, on top of getting questions, on top of measuring prompts, I can also add an intent tag. So for example, these two questions are about PC, so I can group them together as with the tag PC, and the others, I'll just call them Xbox and generic. And so what I'm doing now is that I'm grouping together these two PC queries. And so I can I can look at the prompt by prompt measurements. And I can also look at the results of these two queries together. So as a result, I can get a larger sample size, and we can get a better idea of the, I can get basically a better results, right? Another thing I can do is, since I am measuring grouping together two questions into one intent, I could reduce the number. I can save some money and do 200 samples each, and then get pretty good results, right? It's still, so it can help me save money, or can help me cover a larger section of the LLM sort of brain by asking a lot of questions and grouping them together to get one measurement. I'm almost done. So the final thing I need to do is choose the models that I want to measure, right? So there are 36 options, and I keep adding more and more options as they come out. And so it takes a little while to figure out which one matters to you the most. But for this example, I care the most about ChatGPT, right? And so I want to measure the models that are behind ChatGPT. So right here, 4.0, there's a lot of models, but I'm going to go for 4.0, and then I'm going to go for 4.0 mini, because 4.0 mini, I know that when people are not logged in, it tends to be one of the models that you interact with, especially when ChatGPT has a lot of demand. It defaults to 4.0 mini. And if you run out of 4.0 requests, in some cases, it'll make you use 4.0 mini. So with 4.0 ChatGPT 4.0 latest, which came out last month on March 27th, so every response after March 27th is generated by this. Every response that you use in ChatGPT that is not using web retrieval is coming from this model. And then I'm also going to choose GPT 4.0 mini, but you have lots and lots of options, and they have different prices, right? So, right, and it goes by the 100 samples. So this is a ChatGPT 4.0, this is $1 per 100 samples, but 4.0 mini is less than 10 cents. Some of them are added on purpose that are some really cheap ones, like Llama, like this very small Llama model, which is 3 cents for every 100 samples. So you can experiment, right? And you can figure out what queries work for you before you measure some of the more expensive models. And you get some of the older models. So this is the GPT 4.0 model that was fueling all the responses from GPT 4.0 from November 20th onwards until last month. They released a new model. So the point of this form is that once you measure a prompt once and you have a large enough sample size and you have an accurate enough result, you don't have to measure that prompt for this model ever again, right? You're done until the next model comes out, and that model may have you might have a different position in that model, right? And so all I need to do is finish adding the sample sizes and hit submit and submit. Because these are a lot of samples, it takes a little while, and I'm not going to hit generate report because I already generated one for this demo, so that we can look at it right now, right? Otherwise we would run out of time. But you would click on submit. It would say submitted successfully. It will clear the entire form for you, and then you can go up here and see all the reports that you have, right? So these are all my reports. The one that I made for this is video games demo, and I have 2 buttons. I recommend you start with the brand report button. It downloads a zip file with some Excel sheets, some CSVs with data, right? And before I move on to that, let me just quickly say that the raw data, it's just all of the data that was downloaded. So sometimes it's a really, really big file, and sometimes Excel won't be able to open it because it will be gigabytes of data. So it's just there for like the more advanced use cases where you just want to see all of the data that was generated for you and analyzed for you. So it's just there just in case. But I would say, look, go for the brands report first. And so I already imported this, and these are the questions that I have here. So if you remember what we asked first, we asked, recommend me a video game similar to Fortnite for PC, right? And we measured GPT 4.0 and GPT 4.0 mini. This is a different question, but you have different questions essentially and the results. I'm almost done here. So as you can see, a lot of brands appear. So in total, I think there's about 90 brands here. And this is a small number. I've seen much bigger ones, because if you ask the same question over and over again, you get brands that appear 1% of the time, and you start getting larger lists. And so what we have here is very simple. So our system is saying that Apex Legends appears in the answer 99% of the time, 99.7% of the time, but the measurement could be as high as 99.9% of the time, or as low as 97.9% of the time. So it gives you a confidence interval so that if this is too wide, it's too inaccurate, you can go back and measure a larger sample size until you're satisfied, and then you're done, right? You're done until the next model comes out. Like, for example, let's say you work for Roblox, which appears 20% of the time, but your confidence interval is 15 to 25. It's a little bigger than it is here in Apex Legends. So you might, if you work for Roblox and you really care about this measurement, you can go back and increase your sample size. And finally, one thing I'd like to mention is, so the visibility score is an interesting score. It just gives you an idea of how often do you appear, but also how many other brands are there in the same answer competing for the user's attention? The equation is clearly explained up here, and you can always set a meeting with me and I can talk in more detail. And then I like to look at average mentions in response, because depending on the question, maybe there is six brands is pretty average, but I've seen up as much as 18 brands. Gemini, for example, tends to produce more brand. And so it gives you an idea of like how much of a chance do I have of being here, right? Like, am I competing for like, is there six brands per response? Is it a lot? Or, you know, it may be, it's more than if there's two brands. If there's only two brands, then it's really hard to be in the answer, right? And so this is the data that we have now. We'll have more coming soon, but before I'm done, I want to share something. So here are my codes. So until the end of the day, until for the next 8 hours, until basically midnight New York time midnight, the code launch 80 will give you an 80% discount on any amount of credits that you buy. And this work, you can give it to as many people as you want, unlimited use, but it runs out at the end of the day. And then for the rest of the weekend, you can use launch weekend 20 to get a 20% discount until the end of Sunday. And that's it. So I'm done. I feel like there are maybe questions or comments. I think I saw it a few times. So
can you please share those codes in the chat as well? And I'll try to share them when I send the email out afterwards. Any questions?
Absolutely.
The only thing is I'm sending the email end of day, so there are a few hours that can be wasted from the coupon, so I'll try to share that on LinkedIn as well.
Okay, well, I guess they should have been here. But, I mean, anybody can share it with anybody. So if you know somebody who might want to use this, you can send them the code. And if you run out by a few hours, then send me an email and we'll see what we can do. You know, it's I want people to try it. So, all right. So, thank you.
Yeah, we
Back
have
to
2
you,
more
Sarah.
minutes. If anyone has questions, guys, you can jump in, or if not, we can move on to our next speaker. Okay, we're good. So next speaker, Ashley, is a founding partner at Aircule. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. Hopefully I am. The technical marketing agency behind the Aircule app. She specializes in product marketing and content strategy through the lens of search. Prior to Aircule, Ashley ran marketing and product marketing at developer-focused companies, including Coder, BuildKite, and GitHub. You can find her on LinkedIn or X. The floor is yours, Ashley.
Okay, awesome. Sharing my screen. So as Sarah mentioned, I work at an agency, and we are a technical marketing agency, and we build a lot of spreadsheets, as I'm sure everybody does. And one of the things that at some point we decided to do is turn those spreadsheets into an app. A lot of us have web development backgrounds and just really wanted to kind of scratch that itch. The first iteration of the Aircule app was basically like our content audit turned into an application. And that's kind of where we've evolved from. So that's kind of like the base experience is kind of instant content audit. And then on top of that, we have a bunch of tools that I will show you. So right now we're looking at the website library. So what the app does is it brings in Google Analytics and Search Console data. You auth with both of them, and then we build basically a library of all your content. And so I'll just switch over to our blog library. So you can either do a page path or a subdomain and see just like segments of your website, or you can see the entire thing. So right now we're looking at just /blog. What this does is just gives you an overview of traffic. Like a big reason for us building this was a lot of our clients were just really frustrated with even just being able to see a single page, analytics for a single page in GA4. And so what we've done is basically give you those analytics per page for every page on your site or within that library. So for example, like you could search for, I'll just search for CRO. And we can go into a page and just see simple analytics, just easy to see. We have deep links into Google Analytics and Search Console, so you can see more. A lot of times, like clients just sort of want to see, like, let me just see one page and how it's performing and how that's going and what I might optimize it for. So we also pull in query data from Google Search Console. And one of the things that I find most useful in my workflows with this app is volume. And so we pull in data from keyword tools and then also compare that to your actual Google Search Console data and give you an estimate based on that. And so sometimes this will help with giving people more accurate estimates of what the keyword volume actually looks like. And then another thing we do is separate your library into different collections, and these are default collections. You can also build custom collections that can take different parameters that you specify, but the default ones that we break your library into are stars, declining, sloths and wildflowers are dependent on traffic and engagement, and then lemons are sort of like your worst performing pages that you should probably prune to improve site focus and things like
Actually,
that.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I like the lemons. Is it inspired by when life gives you lemons? Make them. Is that where is this coming from?
Well, I mean, you could definitely look at it like that. Sometimes we just say you need to prune your lemons, like, you know, when your lemons have harvested on a tree and you just need to kind of like get them off. So sometimes you need to remove them. Sometimes you do need to kind of repurpose them into lemonade. I like that. And yeah, so those are the collections, and then you can also build custom collections. So like when I update pages, I tend to like put them into a category of like recently updated, and I might refresh this every now and then. And you can also build dynamic collections, but these are the pages that I've personally recently updated on our library, and then you can see kind of the analytics for that. We do a projected estimate of what's going to happen. I very recently updated these. I'm hoping it goes higher. But essentially, this is a way that we can kind of collect the updates that we've made for folks and that they've been making on their behalf to see how it's going. Probably my favorite thing that I spend the most time in is the topic explorer. So we can do keyword research, very simple keyword research in the context of your website and your data. So if I were to just do like CRO is probably a bad example because it's kind of a lot of different stuff, but you can see the top ranking URLs. If you could click over to pages, you'll see the different pages that that are related to that topic. We do kind of a match there, so you'll see a percentage in terms of like how topically relevant these things are. And then you can see the list of keywords, sort by volume, for instance. And this is useful for, I think, I probably don't have to tell people why this is useful, but going in and being able to understand what are you ranking for, what opportunities exist around certain keywords in the context of your data. The last thing, and I know I'm at the tail end here, so I think I'll be probably pretty quick, is topic reports. So you can do different reports on topics to kind of measure your authority around a topic and how you're doing over time. And so this will take exact match keywords. So you can pick a given topic and then you can pick different keywords that make up that topic and just kind of see that over a view over time. And let's see, like, what could we do here? I'm trying to think of something that would be relevant. Like, let's just go with SEO, just so I can show it. So we go into here and then we'll see impressions over time and then different keywords that relate to that and pages that fall into that search. So that I think is the like rapid overview of the product. Are there any questions or anything from anybody? I will also drop in, we have a free plan and we have a paid plan as well. So with the free plan, we get you get all of this. The things that say beta are topic explorer. So the keyword research functionality is limited on the free plan, and then topic reports are included only in the paid plan. And you can also have workspaces in the app. So for us, we have like many different workspaces for our clients, and that's something that you can do. But on the paid plan, you currently get one workspace, and we're thinking about how to make that more accessible for people who might want multiple workspaces, so that you can invite people to libraries that are sort of their library kind of thing. So,
Thanks, Ashley.
questions?
I'm definitely trying this.
Awesome. Definitely let me know what you think. Thank you.
Any questions, guys? Anything you want to raise? Ashley will share her the pricing of the app and her LinkedIn in the chat. I'm also going to send that in the recap email. If there's no questions, I'll wait for like 2-3 more minutes in case there is. But then you're all free to go. I don't want to lock you in here.
I see one question, which is, can it integrate with HubSpot, which is a fantastic question. We've been getting a lot of questions about conversions and connecting it with conversions. And it's definitely something that we're thinking about. It doesn't integrate with HubSpot today, but I definitely want to get it either working with Google Analytics conversions, HubSpot conversions. There's definitely some plans there. So keep an eye out.
People are gonna be asking once they start trying out the tools. Thank you so much all for being here. I'm super, super grateful for you, and I hope you found this useful. As I said, I'm sending a recap email with all the tools, the context that the founders shared, the video recording, and let me know what you think. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Have a nice day, all.
Great day.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.